Doesn't Christianity take away my freedom? Well, I saw a t-shirt one day with the words freedom for future. It is an interesting thought, but of course, total nonsense. We each have commitments and responsibilities which mean that we can never be completely free. Freedom to choose and act as we wish is not always good. For example, it is acceptable and fair that that a murderer has the freedom to act as he or she wishes, even at the expense of another. Of course, that would never be right. Or again, consider the drug dealers. Should they be free to supply no matter what the cost is to others? Nobody hardened but a criminal would think so. Liberty is a great thing. I have worked in areas of the world where freedom of conscience is not permitted, so that religion or dissent is suppressed. It is a very oppressive atmosphere in which to live. What is true in the nations is true for individuals, that there is no one so bound as those whose rules for life are not God's. However, individual liberty should not be seen as just a license to be selfish. Real freedom is not doing as we please, but having power to do what is right. The Bible teaches that all of us have a common problem, which the Bible calls sin. It is not a welcome topic of conversation, and sometimes gives the impression that Christians are all about doom, gloom, and judging other people. Now, this is hardly the case. Another misconception is that Christianity is about rules and regulations. Again, this is not true. God sets out and commands which he calls us to follow. Ultimately, he calls us to love him and to love others. He does this because when we do, we not only honour him, but we also find that we too experience real pleasure, which is elusive to people who never turn to Jesus. No man was or ever has been free as Jesus. He could do all things. He was free from greed, sham, spin, and hypocrisy. He had no fear of skeletons in his closet. He had none. He had a great sense of duty, but that did not thwart his personality. Obedience to his Father's will did not stifle him or undermine his freedom. True freedom is found in God. Jesus himself claimed this when he said, "I have come that you might have life, and life in all its fullness." He is the source of life and the life giver. And when you know Jesus and his freedom, you are free to the maximum. In Jesus, you become the person he created you to be. And in that, you can be free to be yourself. Thank you. Remember, any more questions, just email quizachristian23@gmail.com.